Hello, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading for 13th of June through to the 17th, 2016. So I just thought I'd explain briefly in case you've never seen one of my very unprofessional videos before. The purpose of angel cards is not to give you a prediction of what's going to happen to you, and that's because you make your own future. So I can't tell you what's going to happen for you this week. But what I can do is using these angel cards, and I use a different deck for each day just because I like variety. What it tells you is what's going to come up for you, what the energy is going to support you to do, what sort of things you might be facing, what you need to let go of. And the reason that's helpful to you is so that you can make your own future, you can make better choices, you can understand what's going to help you to get what you want, where you're getting stuck, and all of that sort of thing. Now, people ask me how it's possible for me to do these readings and draw a card that's going to be helpful for every single person who watches it. The answer is I don't know how that works. It's the law of attraction. The angels just know. And it is possible that maybe this card isn't going to resonate with you straight away. Maybe it's actually for someone else that you know. Maybe it's telling you something that you need to think about now that will come up for you later. So don't instantly disregard a card because you think that it doesn't really apply to me. Just sit with it. You never know when that might come up for you again. And it also, sometimes it's just to give you an idea or to give you some reassurance in some ways. So anyway, that's enough talking. I'm going to draw some cards starting with Monday, the 13th of June. Let's see, shuffle the cards and see what jumps out, what comes up. It's absolutely freezing here in Sydney, so my hands are really cold. So we've got manifestation power. This is a really cool one if you are working towards a particular goal or dream at the moment. It's about reminding us that we can get whatever we want through our thinking. Now, obviously, it's a little more complicated with that. It's not just a case of putting in an order to the universe. I want a shiny new car and then just letting it happen. It doesn't really work like that. But what it does tell you is that you can use your thoughts to help you with that. You've still got to do the work. Action is still involved. So, but you've got to get the universe on board by setting the energy to get to kind of put in that order and to show that you're ready for it as well. So manifestation, people who've already worked or read The Secret or worked with the law of attraction already know about this. The power of your thoughts is really an untapped power for so many of us. There is more involved. It's not a simple case of just putting in an order, but it starts with you being positive and being aware of where your thoughts might be holding you back as well. So that's Monday. Moving on to Tuesday, the 14th of June. That's my hands. Need to warm them up. Golden opportunity. So again, we're talking about goal setting here. Now, sometimes there's a saying that opportunity knocks. There is this idea that we can just sit back passively and wait for things to turn up on our doorstep, that the man of your dreams is just going to knock on your door. Now, obviously, we live in the real world and we know that's not true at all. So, but however, interesting, I just used that example. I just noticed the word door is used on this card. But it is about recognizing when opportunities do present themselves, even if they don't necessarily look like the one answer to what you are struggling with. There might be something within that that's going to lead you to a person who can help you, or to put you into a circumstance where you're going to find out something that will lead you somewhere else, and then you'll continue going onwards to get to where you need to be. So yeah, look for the doors that are opening for you. Don't force open doors that are not opening for you, because it may be that those doors are not right for you after all. That what you think is right for you is not actually the case. So look for things that are opening up, and if you're not sure if it is right for you, the best thing to do is to ask your intuition, or you can also ask your angels to give you a sign. And don't be specific about what that sign should be. It's really best to leave it up to them. But they are saying there's some really key turning points coming up for people who have really been working towards something for a long time, and it's important that you don't walk away from those right now. So have the courage to walk through them. So in The Alchemist, which happens to be my favourite book, Paulo Coelho writes, and I hope I'm saying his name right, I've only ever seen it written, writes that a lot of people give up on their dreams right at the minute before it's about to come true. They've done all the work, but they freak out at the last minute, or they just give up because they think it's just not going to happen for them, but they're tired. That happens for a lot of people. Of course, he talks about treasures rather than, about goals as such, but, it is important that you recognise, even though you might not feel like you're getting anywhere or you're close to your dream, that you continue to keep going and you walk through the doors that are opening for you, because they are going to take you somewhere important. Wednesday the 15th, and sometimes it takes a while for the right card to come up. The angel on this card is Layla, and it's about spending time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Now, where I live, it's very cold, as mentioned, so the idea of going outdoors doesn't always appeal when it's cold, but it doesn't have to be for long. I think sometimes we underestimate how important it is to be out in the fresh air and to be exposed to sunlight, if that's an option, if the sun is shining. And the reason for that is because energy flows best when we're around things that are living, so plants and trees, and also being around water is really, really good, by the way, if you're struggling with emotions, because that flow of water is what stimulates the flow of emotions in your body, so it helps to shift things that are stuck and weighing you down. Obviously it doesn't solve your problems, but it can help you move the energy so that you're in the right space to get the ideas and the solutions that you need to move forward. Now, because we've had two cards already about goal setting and achieving dreams, they are indicating that this is in line with that theme, that it's really important that you check in, even though I talked about action and it's important to take steps forward, you've still got to keep checking in to make sure that you are on track and that this is still what you want and that you're still going about it the right way. Sometimes when we've got our heads down and we're focused on action, we actually are not aware of things that are coming up that we need to take note of. Maybe what we wanted is not quite right for us anymore. Maybe there's some different element about it that we're missing because we're so focused. So I actually wrote a blog post last week, which is kind of related to this, and that was about taking time out to rest. I was really writing about how sometimes we can feel guilty when we take a rest because our society is all about hustling for things and keeping moving and working hard, and we don't tend to recognise the importance of rest. But it is really important to rest and to meditate and really tune into your intuition and ask whether this is what you want still, and whether you're going about it the right way, and what you might be missing, because the universe tells us as much as we need to know at any given point. So new information will come through when we're in the right place to hear it. So it's really important to keep that conversation happening. So that's Wednesday. Moving on to Thursday, the 16th of June. Crikey, I've dropped the deck. That's not a good... Okay. Give that a go again. Be less clumsy. The really great thing about this is that you can never get a wrong card. That's really reassuring. Sometimes I don't always nail the message for people, and that's why when I'm doing a weekly card reading like this, I will give some of the different meanings as well. When I'm doing a personal reading, it's easier for me to tune in on exactly what that person needs. Harmony. So we're all about balance now. I mentioned about having more rest come in to make sure we're not all work. And it's important to be in harmony with nature, to make sure that we are getting outside to get that balance, that we're getting enough downtime, that we also the same relationships, some harmony in relationships. So if you're constantly in conflict with someone close to you, it's important to look at where you're out of balance. Why is that happening? Is it because you're not spending enough time together? Is it because you're not nurturing your connection? Is it because you're both assuming things about each other that are actually correct and you're not taking the time to reconnect? Harmony means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I think it's really important to recognise that in a busy world that we live in, total balance is not possible. We're always talking about work-life balance. It's not possible to have a complete and absolute balance, but we still have to strive towards getting a better weighting on each side. And definitely, I think that we are not, as a sweeping statement, we're not doing a very good job with this in our lives, not getting enough rest and not enough play either. Quite often, when I draw a card for a weekend, we'll get a card about play and about having fun. And in a child, we really don't spend enough time having fun, because it seems like it's not really productive, but actually it's really important. So I would suggest you tune into what the word harmony means for you. Where are you out of balance? Because that's going to mean a whole lot of different things to different people. So Friday, end of the week. Grief. One's jumped out already. 3 of Michael, release the past. This is about healing. Some of you are really struggling at the moment with something that's recurring for you, a situation that you've had before and it's come back again, and you're drawing attention to the comfort that Michael's giving. This angel represents Michael, the way he's comforting this person. They really want to offer comfort to those people who are really feeling hurt right now because what they're going through, they're just exhausted by it. It's come up again and again and again. I've made this point last week. We had a card about the past. The universe keeps giving us situations until we learn from them. So if you are in a situation that's recurring, perhaps you're being mistreated by someone, and maybe they haven't mistreated you before, but someone else has in a similar way. Or maybe you're in a job where you're not getting respected again and again. What is the lesson here? Why is this happening? What can you learn from it? Once you learn the lesson, it is easier for you to move on. But they are saying definitely it's about, you need to figure out how you can let go of those patterns that are contributing to the situation. No one creates situations where they are hurting. It happens because there's something in there that we need to learn, but we certainly contribute to it, and we keep ourselves stuck in those situations, particularly when we don't learn, and we hold on stubbornly to things that we think are keeping us safe that are actually just keeping us stuck. So a lot of courage is really needed to lift us up. And yeah, there is a message here that you will heal. But you have to really do some work on figuring out what you can do to help yourself. But don't forget to ask your angels for help. That's what they're there for. And their main job is to help us find peace. So if you're really hurting and really suffering at the moment, your angel squad are definitely a good source of support for you, because they want to comfort you and help you in that. But definitely do some work on introspection to figure out where you can make some different decisions and take some different actions, and maybe change some of your attitudes around that as well. Okay, so looking back at the week, this is where I look for themes that have emerged. Very strong theme about working towards goals, and so for people who are in a process of transformation and creating something new, perhaps it's a new business, or perhaps you've changed cities, or whatever it is that you're working towards doing in your life. There's a lot of support here in terms of manifesting. I'll put these out. Here we go. Manifesting, making sure your thoughts are positive, and if they're negative, why is that happening? Is that out of fear? See what work you can do to kind of challenge that. Keeping in mind that fear never goes away. It's always going to be there, and often fear intensifies when we're getting really close to getting somewhere. That's really important. So, and that's when you need to keep lifting yourself up. Fear may not go away for you, but it's important to find ways to manage it and to not let it hold you back. So, it's, yes, I'm scared, but I'm going and doing it anyway. Looking for opportunities. They're really emphasizing this message of not forcing open doors that are not opening for you, but going through the ones that are, even though that might not look like what you expect it to look like. Taking some time to meditate and check in. I've used this example before, but it's like a pilot needs to check in with air traffic control and with their radar to make sure they're still on track. So you might feel like you're on course, but sometimes you really need to just make sure things can shift. So that conversation with the universe needs to be an ongoing one. Harmony, being in balance, looking for where you're out of balance and working towards trying to correct that and get a better balance, bearing in mind that total balance isn't necessarily realistic, but the more you can do to kind of get some better balance in your relationships particularly, the more helpful that will be. And if you have got a relationship that you're in that's really, really fraught, perhaps you've got a toxic friendship, it may be the case that you need to walk away from that, which is never an easy decision, but make sure that you at least try and find some harmony within that too. But you need to trust your intuition. If it's hurting you more than it's helping you, then you need to be prepared to walk away. And some wonderful healing energy coming through here from Michael, giving us strength when we are stuck in a real painful situation, and reminding us we do have the power to change that. And if it's a recurring situation from the past is a big word that's associated with this card. Looking for how this has happened before and what you can do differently to try and help yourself get out of it, and being prepared to release that. So, great week coming up. I'll put these on social media every day. My Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel. My Facebook page is OneGroundedAngel. Now, on Instagram, I've got a promotion going at the moment. I'm giving away a free personal angel card reading. So you need to be a follower. And just how you enter is by emailing me, onegroundedangel@gmail.com, and just telling me your Instagram handle so I know that you are one of my followers. That is running until the 19th of June, this coming Sunday, Australian time. So it needs to, you don't need to tell me anything about yourself, you just need to say your Instagram handle so I know you're following me. And it's just to celebrate me hitting over 1,000 followers. That's the purpose of it. And it's open to anyone anywhere in the world because the reading would be done via Skype or email. That's really all I have to say. Have a great week, and yeah, follow me to get more detail on these cards each day. I can kind of be a bit more focused in my delivery on social media when I'm just focusing on one card. So have an amazing week, and I will see you next weekend.